on, Fitzy.
Good morning, everybody. Testing 1, 2, 3. Everything looks good. Perfect. 24th of October, I believe. 2024, 11 a.m. We are back once again. Again, we stream Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. We may or may not have a training stream tonight. I think I need to check in with the Oracle on that. We are streaming tomorrow at 11 and 2. We're going to look at PuffGo, which is a Web3 mobile game. So make sure to go and bookmark that and come back as well as 11 and 2 o'clock tomorrow. The 2 o'clock tomorrow show will be with the Oracle, not me, because I am too old to play games. I have very old, spindly hands like the witch from Snow White, probably. What we're going to talk about today, we are going to talk about these crazy predictions we're starting to see. $200,000 easy. There is absolutely nothing easy about a $200,000 Bitcoin. Absolutely not. We're going to talk about the Solana TVL total value locked. We're going to talk about mantras. Mainnet has gone live. This was one of the things that I was talking about. It needs to show itself and prove itself. So that's gone live. We're going to look at Scroll Over. Scroll was a coin I made. I actually don't know if I made a video or mentioned it in chat. You sell these tokens, you dump them, and then you buy a higher value token. In my opinion, not financial advice, of course. We're going to talk about Uniswap, but it's actually U9Swap. You see, there's a play of words there. Anyway, we're going to talk about Uniswap, and I'm not going to give the game away, but they're going across 9 different blockchains. I do remember saying to you 2 days ago, what would be a threat to Aerodrome? What would be a threat to Jupiter? This is the threat, okay? This right here is the threat. Uniswap walks into your bar. It has a bigger gun. It has more muscles. It looks a little bit like The Rock. And you're standing there looking like, I don't know, Kevin Hart. Okay, we're going to look at Stable Push, why it's important to get stable coins regulated. We're going to talk about all of that. I am going to keep an eye on chat. Remember, if you're new here, smash the like button, give us a follow. 181,500. We've got less than 20,000 followers to go. And they are across the board. We're talking about Twitter there, X, sorry. We're talking about other platforms, social media platforms, and other exchanges. So all of those combined, 181,500. Incredible. 200,000 by the end of the year, and then I'm not going to mention it ever again. Well, maybe until we hit 250,000. Pump It is the theme of the show today. We are a week away from the end of October, and we are not enjoying our Pumptober, are we? No, we are not. So what are we going to do now? We were over 67,000. I think we're probably below it now as I am talking to you here. So we're going to go over that. We have, of course, the markets to look at and the X-Files. All of it in an hour. A few good mornings then. Chris is here. Danny is here. Hidden Agendas, KB, Velvet Rope. Good morning to you all. I know some people are struggling to get onto the stream because they are currently suffering from inclement weather. So for those of you that are watching on catch up, Packer watches on catch up. Good morning, Packer, or good evening, wherever you are. Right then, Bitcoin coming in 66,765. It is down. We were over 67,000. We did get back above that yesterday. We have fallen down. Ethereum is up over 2,500. That is down. We were at 2,600, 2,650 not long ago. BNB is having a pullback. Look at Solana. Now then, ask yourself the question, why is Solana pumping when there's no news and nobody else is? Do you think they know something? Do you think they think that Solana's ETF is going to be approved in the next 6 months? Because I'm trying to rack my brains as to why this is happening. Now, the other option, it could be people selling out of the meme coins. When meme coins pump up, there's a lot of meme coins at the minute. GOAT is one of them. GigaChad is another. There's quite a few meme coins that are doing the rounds. When people sell to take profits, they sell to Solana. Are the meme coins keeping Solana afloat? Maybe. Could it be the ETF news? Maybe. Could it be something we don't know anything about yet? Absolutely. But it is bucking the trend. It's up 5%. It's a decent pump. It's so blinding having a light pointing at you. I can't tell you. That's pretty much it from the top few. What are the gainers and losers then? Safe is up 65%. GOAT, again, is up another 16.5%. PopCat, Cat in Amuse World, it's hit a cent. Now, PopCat, I've told you about that one. Cat in a Dog's World, I've told you about that one. These aren't just in the top 5 or 10 for the day. Cat in a Dog's World Mew, which is the sponsor of the stream. I was telling you at 0060055, you will nearly have made 100% had you bought that token when we said. In, what, 3 weeks? PopCat, we were telling you at 60 cents, you'll have made 150%. I'm not a fan of memes, and I'm not promoting memes. All I'm saying is I picked a few memes that I think are doing well, and it's the cats. Jupiter is over 104. That was a monumental battle for Jupiter to get over $1. I still think it should be somewhere in the region of $1.50. It's $1.04. We might see a retracement in about 20 days' time when those rewards are unlocked. If people have got the staking rewards and unlock them, it's going to take 28 days. From Monday, that takes us to about the 18th of November. We might see a retracement on Jupiter then, but it's not a massive unlock. I think it was 50 million tokens out of 1.1 billion, so that might not affect it. Radium is up. We talked about that yesterday. Again, DEXs are going to do exceptionally well every bull run. Okay, there's always going to be a narrative, real world assets, DeFi, metaverses, whatever it might be, gaming, they're all going to have their own time. But DEXs, by the sheer reason of what they do, will do well in the bull run. Okay, I'm going to make a video and a few shorts about WolfSwap and the ERC404 token because it's attached to a DEX. And in a bull run, that 404, the coin associated with that, will do incredibly well. So will Jupiter, which is an aggregator. So will Radium. So will Orca, Aerodrome. They're all going to do exceptionally well. Pyth is up. Dog with Hat is up. It's a pretty good day for Solana-ish coins. Losers then 8 again. I told you not to go near it. It's not worth the hassle. On the right-hand side, you can see the 7 days. We've seen the huge pump up, and now we're back down to $1.12. I've said twice now, I think that price is going to come back to where it was. Then maybe in a few months' time, when we know more about what the chain is going to do, when we see the activity, when we see what's being built over there, then yes, maybe it will pump to the upside. But you can't buy something based on trust me, bro. Trust me, bro is not a financial strategy, okay? Launching a new chain is fantastic. Nobody uses the chain, it's a waste of time, okay? Said it about Sui a year and a half ago. Nobody uses Sui, it's dead. Nobody uses Say, it's dead. Nobody uses Phantom, it's dead. When they get 50 or 100,000 users, which is a lot in the blockchain at this moment in time, then we can start talking about that in billions and billions. But for me, no. Axie Infinity is down, waste of time. Cardano has dumped. Now, Cardano, there is the Cardano conference is going on as we speak. Maybe something's been said at that conference that's caused the price to tank. I don't know. I haven't caught that in the news. Atom is down, but Atom was up. Maker, Flare, again. Some coins down there. Nothing really to worry about. So overall, we are nearly where we were yesterday. At volume 83 billion. It's okay. It's not great. Dominance, we don't need to talk about. Gas, we don't need to talk about. We're still neutral on fear and greed. We've still got a $2.3 trillion market cap. There's nothing to be sad about, okay? Wipe away your tears, okay? We are going to go to the moon at some point in 12 months' time. Now, there is a poll question of the day, however, which I am going to remind you of. The poll question of the day, are your crypto bags packed for the bull run? And 88% have packed them. That is music to my ears. You may not all hold the same token, that's fine. But as long as you've got enough of the token that you want, that's great. Some tokens will float, maybe go up 2x. Some tokens will outperform the market and go up 10x. Nobody can guarantee you a 10x, but we can look at what's going on to try and see if we can find the top ones. We've got a few questions. We shouldn't dump too much further, no. I think we're at a solid concrete base now. I think we're going to go up over the course of the next week. That's just my opinion. Good morning, Kishan. Welcome back. I hope you are well. Right then. Now, it is nearly Halloween. The world's worst investor costumes are available for $20 from the Crypto Warehouse store, which doesn't exist, but if it did, we would sell these things. Next Wednesday, we have our Halloween special. We will dress up, and we're not going to tell you what we're dressing up as, but we are going to dress up for the Halloween special. Next Wednesday at 7 p.m. We will probably stream across all the platforms because it's not anything specific. We're going to talk about Mew because we talk about, we do a live stream about Mew once a month. We give away Mew tokens on that stream. If you win, fantastic. We're going to dress up for it. Be prepared. Now, we have mentally scarred the likes of Tariq and Kishan from last year, where I dressed up as what they called the Red Jedi. This year, we are doing something slightly different. Maybe it won't scare Tariq, but before Tariq says anything, I don't look anything like Jim Cramer, but thank you anyway. So, if you are planning to join us for the stream and you want to dress up for the stream, send us your picture and then we'll put it up on the stream. Right then, let's move on to something more serious, shall we? Bitcoin is boring until it isn't. We are in the longest consolidation period in the history of Bitcoin. We are at a point where if you keep something down for so long, over such a prolonged period of time, the chances are we are going to absolutely pop. Now, I am still not going to sit here and say $100,000 by the end of the year because I still don't believe it. I still think $80,000 by the end of the year is a solid, good target. I think maybe $140,000, $180,000 for the end of the bull run is also a really optimistic, positive target. At the low end, 110. So they're my goals, okay? If I hit those goals and everything else follows, I'll hit my target. I'm happy, okay? I'm not going to sit here and tell you we're going to have a $500,000 Bitcoin and a $30,000 Ethereum. Not going to happen. Now then, Dan Crypto Trades, sensible Dutch guy that I follow. You wouldn't guess it, but meme coins, but as long as there's non-meme coins and AI are expected to keep doing well. Look at the performance of that top line there. That is the meme coin returns. Now, meme coins go against everything that hold me dear in my DNA. Okay, if you broke my DNA and asked my DNA, what should you invest in? My DNA would say not meme coins. That's part of my DNA. But I can't ignore the elephant in the room. Okay, I can't go to the circus and not go on the big wheel, even though it doesn't actually go anywhere and you're stationary. Okay, meme coins just have to be accepted as part and parcel of crypto. And the problem is, you can never know the wheat from the chaff. If you're on an exchange, you buy your meme coins there. If you're not on an exchange, please don't do a pre-sale. Don't go to Bird Eye and think you can snipe the next 1000x, because for every one person that makes $1 million out of $10, there are 100,000 people that lost that $1 million. For him to make $1 million, that money has to come from somewhere, and that money comes from you. Okay? Don't think you are the Warren Buffett of meme coins. Okay? You are not Warren Buffett. You are, in fact, the buffet of the cabal, as people call them. But when you get to a larger cap meme coin, the ones that are on the exchanges you're on now, the Popcats, the Mews, the Mogs, the Dog with Hats, the Bonks, all of those coins are the safest meme coins you can get. I'm not saying they're safe, I'm saying they're the safest meme coins you can get, okay? It's like juggling with fire. You pick the sticks with less flames on, okay? You don't pick the one where the entire thing's on fire because you're going to get burnt. So treat them with due care, put a fraction of your portfolio into meme coins and win. 725 billion. Bernstein predicts Bitcoin will hit $200,000 in 2025, calling the forecast conservative. This is one of the articles we're going to talk about in a minute. I believe I've got an article on that. Yes, I do. But that was the headline that I grabbed, and I decided to go and get an article to back it up. Let's see why we're going to hit $200,000, because last time I checked, we're at 67. So we're talking about a 3x next year. That's a big move. Nearly swore then. Bitcoin first tapped its previous cycle high back in March. 231 days later, it's trading right back at that level. The longest consolidation around a previous all-time high we've ever seen. What follows should be an explosive move. I'm assuming, again, nobody knows. Nobody has a crystal ball. If they did, they would be rich beyond their wildest dreams, but they don't. Okay, I think we're going to go up, but I think we're only going to go up about 25% between now and the end of the year. I'm trying to be conservative. If you want to go and believe these people who talk about 150, 250,000 by the end of the year, by all means, but I think you're more than likely going to be disappointed unless something absolutely massive happens in crypto and there is a huge sea change and something happens. Now, there is some news breaking today, which I've not included in the stream. I'm going to tell you at the end of this, okay? And then I'm going to tell you what the implications are. Michael Saylor made a throwaway comment about the same thing that I've mentioned on here before. You put your Bitcoin onto a ledger, then you go sailing or you go out fishing and your ledger falls into the sea and all of your crypto is gone with it. It's a running joke in crypto, okay? It basically means you've hidden your crypto, okay? But it's a joke and it's more of a meme than anything. Michael Saylor has come out and was very flippant about it, saying that self-custody doesn't really matter. Exchanges are fine, you know, whatever it might be. I support self-custody for those willing and able, the right to self-custody for all, the freedom to choose the form of custody and custodian for individuals and institutions globally. Now, this is the line I have been saying all along. Bitcoin benefits from all forms of investment by all types of entities and should welcome everybody. Now, there's a lot of hatred towards BlackRock. There's a lot of hatred towards Goldman Sachs and all of these other institutions. Now, if you have your 65-year-old mother or grandmother, or your uncle or your aunt that are wealthy, and they don't know anything about the internet, they don't know how to use an exchange, they don't know what a self-custody wallet is, they think it's the little leather thing in the back pocket with the credit cards in. Why on earth are the Bitcoin maxis saying, oh, well, you need to use your self-custody wallet and not your keys, not your crypto? Okay, fine. BlackRock ETF, VanEck ETF, ARK Invest ETF are sound investments, okay? Gold ETFs have not rugged anybody in 30 years or 20 years, however long they've been going. You tell your uncle, your aunt, your mother, your grandmother, you want to buy Bitcoin, okay, you don't know what you're doing, go and use an ETF. Go and contact your investment advisor and go and get them to buy shares for that generation and that type of individual. Bitcoin doesn't care. You use your exchange to buy and trade Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't care. You put your Bitcoin onto a wallet, it doesn't care. You cannot be precious about Bitcoin because it's not yours, it's not mine, it's not anybody's. That's the beauty of it. And it can be done. Look at gold. Gold goes into mobile phones. It goes into jewelry. You can buy Peter Schiff's gold fund. You can physically store it. You don't see gold maxis running around going, oh, you can't turn it into jewelry. You can't do this with it. No. You do what you want with it because it's an asset. It's a commodity. And I agree with that final statement. We should allow Bitcoin to be bought by every type of individual, however they see fit. And if they are not capable of setting up an exchange that you're watching us on now, if they're not capable of doing KYC and AML, if they're not capable of adding money to that exchange, what do you want to do? Exclude them from Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin was set up for everybody. That's the point. And I think sometimes these Bitcoin maxis miss that point. Okay? Exchanges are an absolute necessity in crypto. So are ETFs, financial instruments. Why do you think funds exist? Because they go and pick oil. I say this all the time. It's a perfect example. Oil. Go and buy oil stock. Which one do you buy? BP? Do you buy Shell? Do you buy Exxon? You've got no idea. So what do? Spend 6 weeks going and looking through the statements and the strategies of 30 different oil companies? Or do you go and buy Guinness Oil, which is a fund that holds a weighting of the different oil companies? Of course you go and buy the fund because you don't need to make that decision. There are cleverer people out there. The same with these ETFs. At some point in the future, there is going to be a crypto ETF which holds the top 5 assets. There's going to be a DeFi ETF. There's going to be a real world asset ETF. They're all going to exist for your family that don't know anything about crypto. And that's why this is so important. Now, One other thing before we move on, we're going to look at one chart. But before we do, this is a rumor. Now, if the rumor is true, then it's good news and it's more bullish narrative. And the news is this. Today, a state in America, one of the, 51 states in America? One of the states in America is going to announce that it's going to hold Bitcoin in its treasury. A state in America is going to buy Bitcoin. Okay? Not Tesla, not Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy, not Riot and Ooh. Hello, hello, hello. Let me just test that. So, testing 1, 2, 3. It was working at the start of the stream. How long has that been off for? Hopefully not too long. Testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I do not know, but one of the mics. Perfect. We're back. Okay, so we're moving on to talk about Solana. Solana has ripped up over 170. It's bucking the trend, okay? It's bucking the trend, and it shouldn't have bucked the trend. Can you let me know in chat, by the way, how long the voice had gone off for? Was it like a couple of minutes? Was it a minute that we were off for? If you can let me know, and then I'll carry on. I don't want to have missed out a third of the stream. Right. Let me bring up the Solana chart while we talk about this and see. Oh, you're joking. Oh, no idea why that's happened. The mic, we have these little mics, and that little red light is a sign that it's not been charging. So I've been wearing a dead mic for, that means probably about, let's have a think. Oh, so we missed all that. Okay, right, fine. We'll just have to move on. It's past. So, no idea why that happened either. Okay, let's move on to have a look at Solana's chart. That is a beautiful cup and handle. Right, let's go to the daily. There we are. Okay, we are in severely bullish territory right now. 184 is the next target. We broke everything that we wanted to break on Solana. No idea why. Precisely this is happening. There's one of many reasons, but we'll go through the article, see what they say first. What's driving growth? High performance chain Solana has had a remarkable year. We know 461% price increase. TVL is at 6.4 billion, the highest since January 2022. That was just after the November 2021 highs, and yeah, I think we're kind of back with with Solana. I think we are looking to the upside. Solana's DeFi ecosystem is rapidly expanding. Solana network reached a total value lot of 6.2. The main reason for this growth is the increase in TVL and volume on the exchanges. Radium has shot up 64%. That is massive. Daily volume on Radium is 1.2. Now remember what Radium is a decentralized exchange. Orca is a decentralized exchange. But what is driving the volume is Jupiter. That's what's driving the volume, because Jupiter will go to Radium and Orca to get the best price for you. Everything is going through Jupiter at the minute. Everything. And it's going to help. Rather than seeing Jupiter as a competitor to Radium or Orca, they're the same thing. One sells donuts, one packages the donuts, okay? You've got the baker and you've got the supermarket. Jupiter is the supermarket, Radium is the baker. Orca is the one that makes the jam, okay? That's how it all works. It works a treat, everybody's happy with it. Most protocols saw double-digit TVL gains over the last 30 days. Camino, Jupiter, Marinade. We talk about these things on the stream all the time. Why? Because I've spent a long time looking at Solana. Before we started looking at the Chronos chain, everything we spoke about was Solana. We've looked at meme coins. We've looked at Camino 10 times, Jupiter 10 times. We've looked at Marinade, which is a liquid staking token. We've looked at Orca. We've looked at Radium. We've looked at everything to do with the ecosystem. We looked at Meteora. It's just been done right. I don't know how else to put it. It's been done right. Now, yes, there is an inflation problem with Solana. Yes, there's a problem with the number of transactions possibly not being legitimate. I don't care. Okay, at the end of the day, it's quick. It never fails for me either. To people talk about the fact the transactions failed. Yesterday, I bought some more JLP token. It did it in a second. I then went to Camino. I staked it. That took 3 seconds. Okay. So to move money from one place to another, exchange it, and then send it onto Camino to stake it took 2 minutes. Okay. And it cost me less than a fraction of a cent. So I don't see that. I see the jealousy more than the negativity aimed at Solana, in my opinion. Now, Solana is one of my picks. Okay, it's one of my picks. It's in my portfolio. Big fan of Solana. I hold it, full disclosure. I hold Jupiter, full disclosure. But I don't hold Radium and I don't hold Orca because I don't want to hold everything in one chain. I think holding Jupiter, Camino, and Solana is enough, I think. I don't care about comparing it to Ethereum. The difference between Ethereum and Solana is night and day. They're two different solutions. It's like comparing two different countries. It's like comparing Wales to Portugal. They're two different countries. They do two different things. Yes, they're both blockchains, but yes, they're both countries. But they have different people on their ecosystem. They have different products in their ecosystem. Their economies work in different ways. And again, it's like when you see a young kid breaking through in football, and you say, "Oh, he's the next Messi, he's the next Ronaldo, he's the next George Best, he's the next Pele." Well, no, he's not. He's the next whatever that kid is. Okay, he's the next future Galactico. It's an unfair tag for a lot of things, and it's also unfair to compare apples with pears. They're not the same thing, even though they're both footballers. So where are we going to next for Solana? Let's see. Have I got any spare lines on this chart? We have come up to this previous level of support, which is at 170. What's that? 172, something like that. I think we're going to go to 180. I think we're going to go higher. Solana could go on one of those runs, which it does, where for a period of a week or two, it just keeps going. That's if this narrative is based on ETFs, in my opinion. If this pump is simply down to profit taking from meme coins and people buying Solana with the profits, then this could be short-lived, and we could come back down to 166 and test that. But I'm in a good place with Solana. I was in a good place in Solana all the way down here because I don't think it should have been anywhere in that area for the time it has been. But I think it could be the meme. Maybe it's 60%, 70% meme volume and 30% to do with the fact that the ETF could very well be approved within the next 6 months. If Trump gets in, I think he's inaugurated in February. We're pretty much in November. So November, December, January, February, it's 4 months away. So if you look at what happened with the halving, and if you look at what happened with Ethereum, the Ethereum pump happened a good 9 months before the ETF was approved. If that's the case, is this buying pressure on Solana to do with the fact that maybe we're going to see a Solana ETF in April or May next year? I wouldn't write that off. I wouldn't write that off. BlackRock, don't forget, went out and bought Bitcoin and Ethereum via a third company that it owned. So people didn't know it was buying Bitcoin, and it was buying it back in June, July last year. And then all of a sudden, surprise, we've got 10,000 Bitcoin. Where did you get that from? They bought it from the market without telling anybody. Maybe BlackRock and the likes are buying Solana from the market. It wouldn't surprise me. But again, it could also just be mean profit taking. Now then, Scroll token declines 32% as whales scoop up the airdrop. Again, anything that's an airdrop like this for now, for me, is not something that I am going to be overly keen on. From now on in, unless it's an absolutely cracking project, I am going to sell every airdrop I get. Okay? I kept my Jupiter airdrop. I sold my Cloud airdrop. I'm going to keep my Camino Finance airdrop. But anything else that I get to do with layer 2s, new layer 2s, anything like that right now, I'm going to sell it. And I'm going to buy either something like TON, or I'm going to buy Solana, or I might even buy directly into Ethereum, something like that. I'm not just going to hold on to these small bags. It's just, I don't farm, but I get airdrops every day from different places, and I just sell them, and I sell them straight into US dollar to build up a little bit of a bag to buy any dips, or I just sell them straight into Ethereum and Bitcoin as it is. There's no point in holding them. This token, like many other tokens, is it going to be up and running live and active in the next 12 months? If the answer is no, there's no point in holding it, because you're holding for the bull run. And the bull run, for argument's sake, starts on October the 1st. So you have 11 months. Scroll, or Token X, has got 11 months to go from airdrop, where everybody's going to be selling the token, to whatever price it can get to in the bull run. It has to do all of that in 11 months. You're getting to the point now where it's not looking like a lot of these new projects are going to be worth holding, because they're just going to run out of time. That doesn't mean that this isn't going to be ready for the next bull run, 2029. Bear that in mind. I sold these at $1.15, $1.20, something like that. I don't know what it is now. It's gone down. Everything's gone down on it. I mean, again, it was at $1.40, so I probably sold it at $1.25. Again, if you like Scroll, if you think Scroll is going to be a success, then this is a good time to buy it when it's down from its all-time high. But again, like I said, when the airdrop happened, I'd never heard of it. It wasn't in the news. It wasn't on social media. So why hold it? Now, we're talking about threats to coins, which are possibly coins that that are a threat to the likes of Aero. So we said 2 days ago, maybe on Tuesday, you know, these tokens that you buy, you're not married to them. If you put $1,000 into Aerodrome, and at the peak of the bull run, they're worth $18,000, and you don't sell every one of them, then I don't know why you bought them in the first place. You bought them to make profit, so make your profit. There is always going to be a threat to pretty much every chain, I would say, outside of maybe the top 3 or 4. I don't think XRP, Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin need to worry for the next 2 or 3 years. But in the shorter term, the amount that Uniswap can consume of your chain in volume is massive, because Uniswap has a hardcore of users. And this should start to worry people, because bridging transactions, if Uniswap launched tomorrow a 9 blockchain single point of transaction where you could change $1,000 of Brett on base, and you could swap it for, I don't know, $1,000 of Mu on Solana, and it does it all in one transaction. You obviously have to put your different wallet addresses in, but if you're using something like MetaMask, it does it all in one. Then why would you go and use Aerodrome? That's the question. So for me, this bridging is now live across Ethereum, Base, Arbitrum, Polygon, OP Main, Netzora, Blast, WorldChain, and ZK Sync. Now remember, most of those are layer 2s on Ethereum, so don't need to worry just yet. I'm not saying this is you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger walking down the street destroying all of the other dexes. I'm talking about the potential for Uniswap to cannibalize all of the dexes across all of the different chains. There is an inherent risk with holding a dex that is on a singular chain. If Uniswap went to Solana, it would get a market share. Now, if the market expands, so does Jupiter, so does Radium, so does Orca, but Uniswap would eat the pie, okay? Even if Uniswap ended up with 10% of that pie, that's still 1 in 10 transactions that's not going through Radium or Jupiter, it's going through Uniswap. So these are the long-term threats. Now, do I think this is going to do anything between now and the end of the bull run? Absolutely not. This is why I'm saying if your target is 12 months' time to sell everything you've got, you do that, and then you wait a year, year and a half, and you sit on your cash and you don't move, okay? You sit on your hands, okay? You lock your dollars away in a 6-12 month bond that you can't touch. You do whatever you can to get rid of that temptation. Because as the likes of Aerodrome start coming down to 20 cents and 15 cents, you're going to want to buy. But you need to wait for the bottom to buy back in, or at least start dollar cost averaging near the bottom. Because Uniswap might, September next year, say, right, we're going to go onto Solana. It then goes onto Solana. That's going to take a good 12 months to really kick in and people start to use Uniswap. And then Uniswap starts to cannibalize all of the market share of everything else. And then suddenly, it's not the fact that you should go and buy Uniswap today, it's the fact that it will just eat away at the market caps of Radium, Orca, Jupiter, Meteora, and everybody else. That's what matters. So this is all good, happy days. Share of DEX volume, Uniswap has been on the decline, as you can see. Aerodrome has pretty much started from the beginning of this year, popped up out of nowhere. Orca, Radium, both decent amounts over there. Of course, don't forget Jupiter isn't included in this because it's an aggregator, not a DEX. But Uniswap, given that at the start, a year ago, it had 53% of the market. Now it has 31. So it's lost 20% of its market, of the total market share in a year. Now, that's what's happened to Uniswap in a year. Imagine what would happen to the likes of Radium and Orca. Radium at the start of the year was 1.2%. Today, it's 17.8%. Okay, that happened in 1 year. That's what I'm saying. It's going to take a year from when Uniswap decides to go after Solana. So for the bull run, getting back to the brass tacks, for the bull run, Uniswap, Radium, Aerodrome, Orca, all solid picks, all going to make money, all going to pump in the bull run. It's after the bull run that you need to start thinking about whether Aerodrome is going to exist in 3 years' time. That's what you need to ask yourself. That's the problem. Now, Visa and PayPal execs push for stablecoin adoption to streamline global payments. Again, why are they doing this? Because they're trying to sidetrack the banks, the banking system. They want to do it themselves, and they want to control as much of the money flow as possible because, of course, they can take bigger cuts of the transactions. That's why Visa have partnered with chains. They have partnered with MetaMask. PayPal has its own stablecoin now, PYUSD, which is going great guns. It's on Solana. It's already got a huge market cap already. So, of course, they're going to push for stable coins. What they'll also probably try and do is slam the door behind them. So once PayPal has its stable coin, XRP has its stable coin, Tether and Circle have their stable coins, what they're more than likely going to do is bring in barriers to entry, because they've got their pie, they're going to eat it between them. They don't want anybody else with a fork to come and sit down and eat the pie. They'll try and close the door. So it's a double-edged sword having the likes of PayPal and Visa involved, because they will just bring in regulation, paperwork, all of that kind of thing. So independent stablecoin issuers won't be able to work. Right, so they're talking about this. We don't need to read too much about this. All you need to know is that once you've got the likes of PayPal, once you've got the likes of Visa, teaming up with Circle, Tether, having their own stablecoins, XRP are going to be involved. It's going to happen, okay? It's going to happen. There is an existential threat to crypto. What if America tomorrow shut down Circle and Tether? How would you get your money out? Okay, think about that. So there is a threat there. Tether, Circle, coming under, I don't know, not impeachment, that's something that happens to presidents, but comes under a direct attack from the SEC. That's a direct threat. But we want governments to regulate fairly. That's what we want. Now, how long do we have left? Good morning, Tariq. Sorry, I missed the show from the beginning. Well, you didn't miss much this morning, Tariq, because my stream volume, my little microphone that I wear here, it hadn't charged. So you didn't miss an awful lot. You missed a lot of this going on. You probably would have missed my impersonations that I was doing as well, which is a shame. Anyway, remember, we try and do this in 1 hour. It is 11:51. So we've still got 8 minutes left to get through this last article and talk about, go and have a look at the Bitcoin chart again as well. But I am trying to get through the show in a more productive way. Rather than going off and having my little rants about things, I am trying to get through the information that I think you need to know. And remember, you can sit there or lie there on your bed with a cup of coffee listening to me. And over time, all of these terms that we use, stable coins, Tether, Circle, all of these terms will become second nature to you. Probably 6 months of listening to crypto streamers, you'll get a really good grasp of what's going on. Unless you're Tariq, he already has that expert grasp of what's going on. Tokenized treasuries, a game changer for collateral in crypto markets. We have already covered this once before in the past. Tokenizing US treasuries and using them as collateral in crypto markets presents a significant opportunity to merge the best aspects of traditional finance with the innovation of DeFi, says Carlos Domingo, and he is correct. US treasuries are backed by what? The biggest, baddest, meanest bunch of sailors and soldiers in the world. They are backed by one of the top 3 economies in the world, and hopefully once a certain man with orange tan and blonde hair comes in, backed by a more active president of America. I think that's fair to say. Trump will be more active than Biden. Biden has been very laissez-faire. He's played more golf and slept more than probably any president since George W. Bush. So we should see America back on the center stage from March next year. That's a good thing. Whether it's Trump, whether it's Robert Kennedy, whether it be any of the other ones, Vivek would have been a good president of America. Who else would have been a good one? DeSantis, maybe he's a DeSantis as well. But the Democrats have also got good leaders. The problem with the Democrat Party, they've gone so far to the left, they don't know what the left or the right is anymore. And that's the problem. That's why you need a swing to the right. Now then, that's all irrelevant. Treasuries can be used as collateral. What does that mean? You want to borrow $10,000 in Bitcoin, you post up $15,000 in US treasuries. Why is that important? Because there will be very little price fluctuation between the treasury and the loan period. If you put Bitcoin or Ethereum up as collateral and there is a huge price dump, the chances are that you will have your loan liquidated and you'll lose your assets. So it's not a good thing to use Bitcoin or Ethereum, especially in a bear market. It's a terrible thing to do. Now then, using treasuries, and this excites me, okay? Let me explain why. When you make your $1 million in Bitcoin and Ethereum profits, and you sell, and you're sitting there with your $1 million, what are you going to do with it? What is the plan for 2026? Pay off your mortgage? Yes, maybe. Pay off student loans? Yes. Go on a big long holiday? Absolutely. What do you do with the rest? How do you earn yield when you don't want to put it back into crypto? Well, you look at treasuries, gilts, bonds that will pay 4 or 5%, or that's what I would look at doing. And then you can sit on it, earning a passive yield, all the while waiting for the next pits of the bear market to go back in. It's difficult to take that amount of money out of crypto back into the banking system and then move it back into crypto. It's a difficult transition. There's a lot of trust me bro going on between you and your bank manager, where he says, where's this $1 million coming from? You say crypto gains. Of course, you've got to pay your tax as well. That has to be brought down. But you could keep your money in the ecosystem. You could keep it in these treasuries, the likes of Ondo and Swarm and Maple Finance and all of these other companies that do these types of things. You could use them, okay? So tokenized treasuries have significantly evolved. The total value on chain is already 2.24 billion. That's come out of nowhere. How long has that taken? Less than a year, maybe. Stable coins are at 170 billion. Seriously expect stable coins and treasuries to find an equilibrium in the next 2 or 3 years, okay? Much as you don't like traditional finance, much as you don't like money printing and debasement and all those kind of things, at some point you have to use it, okay? Especially when you sell high and buy low. You have to put your money somewhere. It's not a good idea to sell a $200,000 Bitcoin and then ride it all the way down to 80,000 and then ride it all the way back up. It's never a good idea to do that. Why haven't you sold at 200,000 and then bought back at 80,000? Because then you're getting 2.5 times the Bitcoin that you had to start with. So you need a yield-bearing fiat position to do that. And that is where you would see treasuries coming in, because at the minute, and they will come down over time, at their minute, they're paying 4.5%, which at the minute is higher than inflation. Inflation in most parts of the world now is 2 to 3%. So 4.5% in real terms is you're gaining 1.5% a year. That's what we want, stability. And of course, your money stays in the ecosystem, which means you can sell those treasuries immediately and go and buy your Bitcoin when you want to buy it. You've got all these different types of ways of getting into it. We don't need to talk about some of the traditional ways, but in crypto, we are looking at more and more opportunities. I think there's a USDY, which was also issued by Ondo, that I think pays about 4.7%. So there's USDY, and that's just holding it in fiat, but obviously fiat with a yield. You've got the treasuries. You're going to see more of these next year as well. I certainly think that crypto investment houses are going to take off in a really, really big way. And for me as well, if you went to your local investment banker and said, I've got $100,000, I'd like to invest it, he'll turn around and say, I'm really sorry, we only accept $250,000 or $500,000. So you as an individual are being excluded from the system. And that's what crypto was meant to fix, a lot of the unfairness. If you go to Ondo, Ondo doesn't care. You could put $10,000 in. Swarm doesn't care. Put $20,000 in. They don't care. They care about the KYC, and so they should. They don't care about your investment because the frictions have been removed. The office with 500 people, the tower block in the centre of London or New York isn't needed. They can go and work from a warehouse or a farm building in the middle of Suffolk or in the countryside, because they don't have to ever meet you. You're in the ether, you're in the blockchain. So there's a lot of reduced cost with what Ondo is doing, and that is making more profits for people. And again, when you're using treasuries, the loans will have not just lower risks, but they'll have lower interest rates. If you borrow against likes of say Atom, you're probably going to borrow at 15% because it's higher risk. If you're borrowing against Bitcoin, you might get 6%. If you're borrowing against treasuries, you're more than likely going to get 4 or 5%. So it can come down. You will get your yield products, and hedging I would avoid if I was new. So all in all, this is one of the next big narratives for me that I think you need to get into, because wealth doesn't happen over one cycle. Wealth can happen over 3 or 4 cycles. Well, that in crypto terms is 12 to 16 years. I've been in crypto 8. So even I've only had, this will be my third, I can never remember, third bull run. You might be in your first. You might make a lot of money in this bull run, but you'll make even more money in the next bull run, and even more money in the next bull run after. There will be diminishing returns, but still, you will accumulate wealth over a long period of time. And this is what's going to help you. Previously, you sold your Bitcoin, you sat on USDC, and you waited for 2 years. Now, you can put it into treasuries, earn 5%. 5% on 200,000 is what? $10,000 a year. So you put that in there, you wait for 2 years, you're on $220,000. It's gone up higher than inflation, so your actually net worth is higher than it was. And then you've got $220,000 to buy Bitcoin, which, let's say it goes to 200,000, is now at 80,000. You're suddenly holding a lot more Bitcoin than you did when you sold October next year. So anyway, that is one of the big ones for me. That's exciting because that's when the clever people arrive in crypto. Okay, we want the clever people to arrive. The men in suits with ties and little things sticking out the pockets that have prawn sandwiches for lunch, we want them to turn up, and we want them to give us the products that we've not been able to have in the past because we've been too poor, very simply put. So we want those products on the blockchain, and we can swap in and out whenever we want. There will be regulations, there will be KYC. Don't think you can be the Scarlet Pimpernel and hide all of your wealth. You're still gonna have to pay your tax. You're still gonna have to submit it on your tax returns, but this pays you to be in crypto and pays you to keep your money in crypto, and that's a good thing. Now then, let's very quickly have a look at the chart. Did we collapse back down to 66,000, or did we hold a range? What are we at now? 66.8. I'll take that for today. Up 0.5% over the last 24 hours. It's pretty good. What are we gaining on in the last hour? You do this and you end up with seeing some absolutely ridiculous coins. Goat is up again. I hate goats. Cat is still up. Beam, DWAX, Uniswap is up again. Uniswap 4% over the last 24 hours. It's bullish news what's come out with. So again, some gainers. What's lost over the last hour? Anything really down? PopCat? Not really. Jupiter? Not really. So have a great day. I think the Oracle might be streaming at 9 o'clock tonight. I will have to find out. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, it's 12:02. This has been your Crypto Hour with me, Mike. Remember, if you're new, smash the like button, say hello. And I will see you. Tomorrow is Friday, isn't it? I will see you tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Take care.